Imagine the industrial heart of Germany in the late 1930s, a time when factories worked with relentless precision, and engineers were driven by the belief that every machine must serve a grand purpose. In the midst of this atmosphere, in the city of Nuremberg, FAUN Werke began constructing one of the most impressive heavy tractors of its era. It wasn't built for glamour, it wasn't designed for speed, and it certainly wasn't meant to impress anyone visually. The FAUN ZR 567 was created for one thing alone: to move what other trucks couldn't move, to pull what others feared, and to keep the heavy machinery of the Wehrmacht alive even in the harshest corners of the war. From the moment the first ZR 567 left the factory, it stood out as a machine designed around pure strength. The vehicle weighed around 10,600 kilograms, approximately 23,370 pounds, a number that immediately hinted at its purpose. The chassis was built like a mobile steel bridge, thick beams running across its frame, reinforced connection points, and construction intended to survive massive stress loads. This was not a transport truck in the traditional sense. It was a dedicated prime mover, a tractor engineered to pull artillery pieces, heavy trailers, disabled vehicles, and even railway equipment in certain configurations. Its engine was a robust six-cylinder power plant rated at 150 horsepower, tuned not for high speed, but for endurance and torque. Beneath the large bonnet lay a motor that could run for hours under extreme strain, pushing the ZR through mud, snow, sand, and broken terrain. Paired with a reinforced 4x2 drivetrain, with power delivered to a single heavy-duty rear axle, equipped with double wheels and a reduction system, the ZR gained enough traction to tow loads that easily exceeded its own weight. While most wartime trucks struggled when towing something half as heavy as themselves, the FAUN ZR was routinely tasked with dragging artillery pieces weighing several tons or recovery trailers carrying damaged armored vehicles. Its dimensions reflected its uncompromising nature. With an overall length estimated around 6.5 meters, approximately 21.3 feet, a width close to 2.5 meters, approximately 8.2 feet, and a height of about 2.8 meters, approximately 9.1 feet, the ZR had the presence of a moving fortress. Standing next to it, one immediately understood why crews treated it with a combination of respect and relief. When everything else stopped, this machine would still be working. One of the most interesting characteristics of the FAUN ZR series was the existence of the ZRS 567 variant, designed to operate not only on the road but also on railway tracks. In a war where logistics often determined the outcome of battles, a tractor capable of switching between rail and road was a huge advantage. Engineers could deploy it to move artillery along railway lines or to recover derailed wagons. This dual-mode functionality was rare among military tractors, and it made the ZR family especially valuable in engineering and recovery battalions. The cab of the FAUN ZR was utilitarian, almost austere. Early examples featured an open or semi-open layout, exposing the driver to the elements. This was intentional. It allowed crews to get in and out quickly, and made servicing the vehicle easy, even under battlefield conditions. The dashboard was minimalistic, with only the essential gauges placed for clear visibility. Everything was designed to be repairable in the field. Nothing was decorative, nothing was unnecessary. A driver once described it as a machine where every bolt has a purpose. That statement captures the philosophy behind this machine perfectly. The ZR's role during the war went far beyond routine towing. On the Eastern Front, where vast distances, harsh winters, and muddy seasons halted entire supply lines, the ZR became one of the few dependable prime movers that could continue operating. Reports from the field describe these machines recovering broken half-tracks, dragging artillery pieces across frozen ground, and helping engineers reposition equipment during chaotic retreats and reorganizations. In the brutal mud of spring, when lighter vehicles sank axle deep, the ZR often remained the only functioning tractor in an entire column. Its heavy tires, large contact surface, and immense torque turned it into a lifeline for units that would otherwise have been stranded. In North Africa, the FAUN ZR faced completely different conditions, yet its performance remained consistent. The desert heat punished engines mercilessly, sand infiltrated every mechanism, and long distances tested even the most durable vehicles. Despite all of this, the ZR continued to tow fuel trailers, artillery pieces, and supply wagons without major mechanical failures. Crews noted that although it consumed significant amounts of fuel, it compensated by delivering a reliability level that few other tractors could match. When an artillery unit needed to be moved quickly, the ZR was the one called upon. One of its most important features was the integrated cable winch mounted at the rear. This allowed the ZR to operate as a recovery vehicle, not only towing heavy loads, but also pulling disabled trucks, armored cars, and even tanks from ditches or soft ground. In many documented cases, the winch played a crucial role in clearing roads after bombardments or airstrikes. When collapsed rubble blocked narrow European streets, the ZR's winch was used to drag debris aside and create passageways for supply convoys. It is worth noting that the FAUN ZR 567 was never produced in enormous quantities. Unlike mass-produced transport trucks used by every branch of the Wehrmacht, the ZR was a specialized machine built in limited numbers. This makes surviving examples incredibly rare today. Museums and collectors value them not only because of their scarcity, but because they represent a unique chapter in wartime engineering. They were not frontline combat vehicles, yet without them, many frontline units would have been unable to receive supplies, move equipment, or reposition artillery. When the war ended, some surviving ZR units made their way into civilian industries. Heavy construction companies adopted them for towing machinery, railway repair organizations used them for maintenance tasks and mining operations, found them useful for hauling trailers across rough terrain. Their heavy frames, powerful engines, and reliable drivetrains allowed them to continue working for years after military service. A handful remain preserved today, often restored meticulously. Their engines started only for demonstrations or exhibitions. Standing beside one in a museum, you can hear the deep, slow growl of the engine, a reminder of a time when such machines operated under immense pressure and responsibility. Although the FAUN ZR 567 never achieved the fame of tanks or armored cars, it played an essential logistical role in one of the most demanding periods in history. It embodied the idea that war is not only fought by weapons, but also by the vehicles that pull them, supply them, and repair them. Without tractors like the ZR, armies would move a lot slower, and many operations would simply not be possible. If you enjoyed discovering the powerful machines that worked behind the scenes, the vehicles that made victories possible even when no one noticed them, make sure to subscribe. Stories like the FAUN ZR 567 remind us that history is built not only by the vehicles that lead the charge, but also by the ones that follow behind and keep everything moving.